The best meal ever.
Thank you for that rousing music. Can't help but be stirred by that. Welcome, everyone, to our Temple of Light service. It's so good to see each and every one of you. We're going to, today, David, Anne, and Susannah will lead our time. And we're going to begin with a little different beginning with a devotion. So if you care to upright yourselves, O Lord, as we still ourselves in this present time and moment, we give thanks for being together in this way to honor thy name through our expression. And as we hold accordingly, we remember our purpose, our reason for being. And as we feel and touch our reason for being, we acknowledge thy name and our part to play in thy camp of the saints, blessing our world. And as we still ourselves in this way, we look forward to our time, that thy word, thy influence may extend into this world through all of us. In the glory of thy name, amen. I'd invite all of you now to put your cameras on gallery view, if not already. And here we can see each other and acknowledge each other one by one. And during this time, we'll look to actually share attunement radiation. And you may want to use your hands to collectively share radiation with one another, heart to heart, eye to eye, while Robert's playing our music. So Robert.
Well, there's been a strong current of welcome that we've extended to one another in the attunement sanctuary where we meet here. In this holy place, this service ritual space. On the holy ground of this sanctuary where we meet, it's not possible to mistake one another. Coming into the sanctuary to be in attunement, it becomes quite clear, vividly clear, that however the other human being looks in outer appearance, however I look in outer appearance, I'm in the presence of the angels, and in particular, a very specific angel. We meet in the flesh of our substance of consciousness and heart, the flesh of our physical bodies. We're incarnate in flesh and blood. Heavenly flesh and earthly flesh. In the body of the Christ Spirit, the body of the Lord, even the flesh and blood body of the Lord that is gathering on earth. Many human beings making their heavenly and earthly substance available to the creation of the body of the Lord on earth. And we are a few who are gathered in the sanctuary, wherever that sanctuary is taking form in the lives of people who are awakening or awake already to these things. We're among those people, many, many, many people around the world who are participating in the formation of what we have called the Christ body. There's no need for us to rehearse the principles of spirit, of life, of truth, of reality that brought us to this point. We know them well. But there are a few words from the book of Revelation that I'd like to read. John, the beloved, wrote these words. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud. And a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open, And he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth, and he cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel, which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Picture of incarnation. My incarnation, your incarnation. Our incarnation into the body of the Spirit of God, taking flesh form now. There's been many thunderings and lightnings in the processes of that incarnation. There's been sweetness and bitterness. There's been sorrows and joys. All opportunities for us incarnate in flesh to generate the pneumoplasm that draws into consciousness an understanding of what the commission is that we agreed to and received and took when we ate the little book and moved through the processes that allowed incarnation in the flesh. My flesh, your flesh. It's taken a long time for me to come to a vivid realization of the significance and the importance of the flesh body. To love the flesh body, the flesh of the mind and the flesh of the heart, and the flesh of other angels. Who are cells in the one Christ body. It's been a long time to reach the point, relatively speaking, where there could be a prophesying before many people and tongues and nations. Say, for each of us as individuals to come to a point where there be something originating in divine being, the one I am, for us as individuals to be alive, awake, functioning, coherent, and able to express the spirit of the one who sent us into this world to participate in the creation of a body through which he and the archangelic host could incarnate and be present in flesh on earth. But this is the day. This is the day. And so an aspect of today is to acknowledge and delight in and allow an increased understanding of how important it is that we are here in flesh and blood, living in these body temples, generating mechanisms where finer and richer and greater varieties and qualities of substance can be generated in this one body, composed of many many people who have come specifically into flesh to generate specific kinds, qualities, and vibrations of substance that allows the spiritual body to be ultimately fully functional on earth, with doors of the heart, gates of the mind, and this threshold of the physical body wide open for the coming of the one whose body this is. And we know that the one who comes with great respect and care to the door, and only comes in when the welcome is there. Welcome, welcome. My Lord, come in. Welcome. We have prepared a place for you. So it's a real pleasure and fulfillment to meet together in this place, in this spirit, with this understanding. And a great joy to participate in this service and presenting something with Susannah and Anne. We each meet each other on the path that we walk towards the fulfillment of our incarnation. We know how the scripture goes, and without Shekinah, there was not anything made that was made. So walking on the path and seeing someone walking toward you, I know, that this is brought forth by Shekinah, by the Christ, by the Holy Spirit. Say, the Spirit of the Lord drawing together people who need to be together in a particular Shekinah pattern, in an overall sense, one pattern, with the Lord of Lords at the apex and other archangels filling in substance of the upper creative triangle. And below, here, we say in this vibrational realm of flesh and blood, to fill in that triangle and notice and acknowledge one another. We have been brought together by Shekinah, in particular patterns of Shekinah for specific purposes, creative purposes within this Christ body. And so Anne and I came walking towards each other 29 years ago, heard the call inside first, in the inner ear, and then externally a few weeks later. And we've been walking together, not just toward each other, but together for almost 30 years now. I remember when I first noticed Susannah, it was around 2012, 2010, 2012. I saw a photograph of her and made note of this person, this woman. And it was only 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago, that I actually began to meet her face to face in a Temple of Light service. And we've been walking toward each other, Anne and Susannah and I, drawn together by Shekinah for a particular creative purpose. And we got closer and closer. And now we're not walking towards each other. We're walking together and talking together and creating together and thankful together to be present in flesh and blood to continue the processes of creation by Shekinah through us, with you, in your fields of Shekinah, which I suggest, if you don't know what they are there, most certainly, and ready to be discovered and unveiled in various ways. But this is holy ground. These are sacred things. This is ritual space. This is the beginning of something. And I want to give things now to our beloved friend, Susannah, who's speaking from Costa Rica in her garden village, sanctuary, and home. Susannah.
All right, I'll say good morning again. It's a joy to come into this beloved space again with you. I'm seeing your faces, loving you, knowing you, and remembering who we are. Remembering our purpose of being. So I enter softly into this rich space, for it is holy ground. I have removed my shoes. I come in peace and in vibrancy of spirit. We, the angels, have decreed this to be so for the purpose of following life's true nature and allowing it to be clearly present now and always together. I come this morning with a full heart and an expectant heart. My heart has been activated by what has been brought into this temple of light already this morning, and also by what has been powerfully stirring in these times and days and months. The passion and urgency of spirit has been very clear. This morning, I want to share some of the essences of my heart with you. Along with that, the essences of my garden home from which I greet you. So come with me for just a moment and I'll show you around. I live on 11 acres of jungle and meadows and gardens and cows and chickens and my sweet dog children. The voices of nature are abundant here. I live next door to my sister's dairy farm. 12 years ago, I named this property Garden Village and built the sanctuary home with a conscious and passionate commitment to allow the things which God has planted eastward in Eden to come alive, to be alive in my flesh and blood and upon this sacred ground. In recent temple services, we heard the invitation to sense, to feel, see, as it were, the cathedral of our life, the arches and the pillars, the spaciousness, the light flowing in. I want to add my word to that reality. And this is not only words or imagination. It is in what we give room for in our hearts and in our minds. This morning, as I meditated, my sister Hannah walked in, saddened for something that had gone wrong for her in cattle care just then. I rose up and we both walked out into the rain. Together, we resolved the matter, brought it to peace. So we can say that these vast arches of this great holy arena from which we live and express and create extend out over the far reaches of the world. For we are indeed living in temple space, the garden space of God. I feel this vividly. I feel this as though in a holy continuum of ritual space. I wanted to speak a little bit about being in agreement with life. When we are in agreement with the spirit of life through various forms and essences that come to meet us, it has been my experience in these times that moment by moment, there's a beautiful, beautiful union in which I notice an exquisitely fine intimacy with this presence, which is life, the divinity that is natural to life. One could say the rising up out of the east in each holy moment, which is every moment, every breath. Last December, after a particularly rich temple service given by David and Anne and Steve, I wrote a letter to them, and there's a paragraph which I would like to read with you now. So here's the paragraph. I write, "For me today, to have been with you in this glowing opportunity for life to be real in my body, in the greater body, takes my breath away. I now have more place, more divine placement for my passion, for it is holy and has been holy. And now I can meet, see, acknowledge, and feel, and agree with the ways and all the ways and forms through which sacred life is presenting itself before me in every divine moment, which is every moment in every breath. For all that is within this kingdom and queendom, which has come, is here not only to be known and met by me, but now calls me into union with this life, and therefore radiant creation, after the nature and will of Almighty God, which was from before the foundations of this world. I experience this more every day through my cows, through the land that offers me ground and fruit for my incarnation, and to which I, in turn, bestow my great love. I meet this divine presence in everything, through each creation, the creatures, the tall trees, the winged ones, the mountains, and the rivers, the marvelous patterns of sky, cloud, sun, moon, any million brilliant tones of light and color, and of course, through my sisters and brothers of this incarnation." End of reading. I want to emphasize the incarnate experience here, the life that we touch, the life that we are. When I'm with my cows, I am in the holy arena, the great garden space of God. I'll tell you a little story. One lovely morning a while ago, I was taking my 4 cows, whom I've raised from infancy, across the green hills of my garden sanctuary property to a distant pasture. My goal was to take them to their designated pasture across a creek below. Well, my cows began to frolic all around me. They began to dance. Up go their heels into the air and their heads tossing gleefully. Then their front feet come up and down, and so they dance up and down all around me. They were not too concerned about the distant pasture I was leading them to. They were fully in this moment and loving it. So you can picture these 4 happy cows dancing down a gentle hill with me, but I realized I wasn't sure if they understood their weight compared to mine and whether I could keep track of where their feet were landing. After all, these are 800-pound dance partners. So to protect myself, I slipped behind a small bush and let them go gleefully by me. Then an amazing thing happened. 2 of them came dancing back up the hill, right directly to me, as if to say, "Come on already, let's engage." This experience stayed with me as a lasting meditation on what it is that is coming to meet me for my precise attention and agreement and engagement. This is a meditation that makes my heart and my mind very still. The realization of the angel at hand, the hosts of heaven in all their manifestations, beckoning for our full attention now. Well, we might say we are not seeing anything extraordinary, no people with halos or wings or white robes. But if what is coming to meet us in this holy moment is from the garden planted eastward in Eden, well then, let us be in profound agreement and union with this. Let us be in one place, in one accord. Let us enter this ecstatic union so that you and I, in this flesh and blood, upon this holy earth, may speak reality through our living. And may we be alert, ready, eager, and able to see all the ways in which we can now bring the mystery of God into rich, expansive, and beautiful manifestations. A couple mornings ago, I was walking along a jungle trail near the ocean, and as I beheld the pure wonder of the tall trees, the lush green foliage of wild almond trees reaching so high up that the monkeys feel safe to play and let us hear their voices, and a trail with views out to a brilliant blue ocean alive with wind and waves. I had the sense of something extra divine, extra divine. Immediately, I knew that the extra divine was in my perception and in my willingness to open my heart and my mind to be yielded to life's grandeur in every moment, with whatever it is that is coming to meet us now. And not because, so my realization was that this was not because God was providing something different than that which is always provided in a perfect and limitless proportion to us. Again, this meditation brings me to a place of profound stillness and understanding that it is I who has the opportunity to open, or God forbid, close my heart and my mind to this pure place of divine presence, to the patterns of heaven made freely available, with the sweet beckoning to open and receive. And then to provide that same sweet welcome to all my world. The welcome to come home and rest. I will now read from a service by Martin Exeter, August 24th, 1986. The natural world longs to come near. Let minds and hearts, being filled with this golden, peaceful substance of love, consequently be the gates of heaven, the gates through which the angels of heaven may come into the earth. Human minds and hearts are indeed designed as the gate of heaven, through which the hosts of heaven may come into earth. They have been a barrier to this, filled with their own thinking and their own emotions. No gate of heaven, no angels in experience. Let minds and hearts be still. Then the angels of heaven may be present and known by human minds and hearts. Be still and know that I am God, revealed in experience of mind and heart by the one I am. Be still, mind and heart. Be still and receive the golden substance of love. Be still and know that I am present. I am present in each little human earth and world. But being present there, I am present in the whole of the planet Earth and in the whole of the natural world. And I come forth to live and be on earth, providing all that is necessary and possible to let the gates of heaven be opened everywhere in mankind, so that the hosts of heaven may come into the earth, and so that the whole population, insofar as man is concerned, is an angelic one. This we have come to know through our own experiences of coming forth, is what is happening, and it shall be finished. Let the gate be flung wide open, that all may come again into the oneness made possible by the union of heaven and earth, the angel of God and the human being. Martin Exeter, August 24th, 1986. And with that passion and with that love, I invite my dear friend Anne and turn it over to you.
So, can I be heard? Good. The flute has been somewhat of a theme this morning. It's a beautiful little instrument. I came across a little line, couple lines from Rumi that I'd like to read. A craftsman pulled a reed from the reed bed, cut holes in it, and called it a human being. Since then, it's been wailing a tender agony of parting, never mentioning the skill that gave it life as a flute. So listening to these beautiful flutes that we've heard got me thinking about my love affair with flutes. When I was in high school, I was in music classes and band, and you got to the point where you had to decide which instrument of all these instruments that you were going to play, commit, learn how to investigate this whole world of music. And my first choice, I have to say, was the flute. But my girlfriend Josie told me that I had clarinet fingers. And because I was only 13, I believed her and I chose clarinet. But I tell you, I used to sit there in the clarinet section and longingly look over at the flutes across the way and wish I could have chosen the flute. They're so shiny and gorgeous. So thinking of a flute as a symbol here in our time together, you can look at the flute either as an individual, as Rumi was saying, or mankind, which I think he was also saying. And when you think about a flute, it has one player who breathes a controlled breath into the mouthpiece and brings an invisible spirit into the instrument. And the player can cover or release various holes in the instrument or press a key, which covers a hole with a lot of precision. And each combination allows a particular sound to come forth. You can trill a key, and then there's a tremulous sound that comes out. Another kind of breath changes the whole sound that's coming out. And going back to the metaphor, an individual's capacities are like that too. According to what holes we cover in our capacities, it allows a particular spirit to come through and make a particular sound. Here's that poem again. A craftsman pulled a reed from the reed bed, cut holes in it, and called it a human being. Since then, it's been wailing a tender agony of parting, never mentioning the skill that gave it life as a flute. Now, isn't that the truth? We have these capacities, our own flute, and how mankind has not remembered the craftsman who made it. I have a friend who played his flute in the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid of Giza. And I know he sat there. I kind of imagine it was sort of dark, and meditated on the presence of this massive and ancient structure surrounding him, and how he could issue forth a sound that would translate what he was feeling, what he was subconsciously picking up. He had to be open. He had to divest himself of any excitement. My goodness, I'm in the pyramid, or concerns. How much time do I have? Whatever. And let something come through, something out of the invisible into the sounding chamber. What a chamber to sound your notes into. I'm sure it was a tremendously expansive experience to hear his sound magnified in that outer instrument, and very moving to feel the eons recorded in the very stone, which was built for the future, and here he was in the present, releasing his sound into that. Profound experience. Susannah mentioned flinging the doors open to allow what is seeking to come into the earth through this earth. And I think we're all familiar with what she was speaking of. I know I've come to cherish that ritual space experience that I can create in my days, where you are waiting for something to come through, when you're letting the doors be flung open to receive, to sit in the silence and open, open, open. No preconceptions, but there's a passion that is present, and a very distinct necessity and experience of letting go, letting. You're not meditating. I'm not meditating on something. In fact, if anything, I'm focused on letting go. And over time, I have gotten to be able to let go quickly. Maybe you have that experience too. I hope so. Just to drop in to that place. Open, waiting, expectant. And I think that the predominant feeling, which is very interesting, is relief. Relief that you're finally present. And not only present, but you're useful. You're finally useful because you're present and open and receptive. And then you know that ancient knowing, that consciousness that was present in that pyramid experience with my friend. But here you are in the great pyramid called the earth, and your own personal pyramid. And you are waiting to see what it is that you need to sound into that. You know, when we're in that silence, it's not like we come with nothing, even though we have let go of the outer mind and the heart experiences that might be present. But we actually come with the substance of our living. And we bring that into the silence. We bring our unique spirit, the unique qualities that we all have, and we bring into it the unique path that we've traveled in our lives. We've met people, we've had experiences. Some of them have been good, some of them have been bad. But you learn just as much from the bad experiences as from the good. In fact, sometimes I think you learn more. And we've acquired certain skills. We've learned how to deal with situations. And our passion has deepened and deepened over our time in this experience as incarnate. And so that comes into the silence with us. So our minds and hearts might be still, as Martin was suggesting, but here we are, bringing something in. I want to read something that I wrote. I wrote this to David Karcher after he had spoken about a particular experience of how we bring into our lives very specific abilities and passions and intentions, and how we learn what is ours to do. Ours, not his or her, but hers, but what is ours to do. And he was bringing that to focus. So I just wrote something to him in that train of thought. I wrote just a note to pick up on what you said. You brought up how we find ourselves in present day positions by reason of our particular natures and lives moving in the flow. And then we recognize that we are the one to do or say something in the present moment or in that cycle that needs to be fulfilled. It's ours. There's such joy in making ourselves useful to the creative process. And consequently, we also recognize that others are fulfilling their destinies. And for me, this has reduced the urge to judge. Like that tendency to think, why aren't others doing what I think is important? How come they're not seeing as primary what I'm doing? If one really touches, no, I'm speaking not in the reading. If we really see what is ours to do, then we surely recognize what others have been brought to do as well. If the flute player, going back to that analogy, is opening certain holes in the flute, closing others, sending air through various groupings of holes, you might say, and creating a particular sound, a particular note, we may not know what he's actually doing. We don't know what his intention is. And then the note changes, of course, and another movement takes place. But in the silence, we can recognize what is ours, what is our note song to play in a particular moment or cycle. We are the ones now present who have been uniquely designed, breathing beings with our flute bodies, ready to play whatever sound is coming through. The other day, Susannah and David and I were talking, I guess I was talking, about the human voice and how each human voice is so uniquely produced out of our physical structures, the way we're designed, also by the particular consciousness that we have, by a particular spirit that might be moving when one is speaking. And we therefore come to express our ageless being now in the flesh. I've been thinking about the whole concept of differentiation. We've been talking about differentiation in services, And I wonder sometimes how deep we go in that thinking. There's a line from Robert Bly that goes, "We cannot remain in love with what we cannot name." And I would say we cannot name others, understand the truth in differentiation without knowing first the one who is differentiating, is differentiated, the craftsman, the one who created the flute. I think that when, first of all, we come to know our name, which is I am life, love, truth, spirit, I am, then you may know, if you're silent, the name of the one in whose image you were created. It's a very personal access. And then, knowing that one, the craftsman, you can name the whole, the one, begin to see that one that you are part of. And then it seems to me that sets you up to be able to name differentiations, his differentiations. You can look around and you can see those who are differentiating various expressions. They may not be aware that they're differentiating the one, but if we're conscious, we know that they're differentiating the one. And isn't that part of our job as the conscious part of the being of mankind? I think we've established that we have a conscious role to play. So understanding the oneness, the whole, we get to name his differentiations because we understand that they're his differentiations. It's a very powerful ability. I want to read a poem by Robert Bly, which I want us to hear the poem as if it's the Lord's poem, or the one, the craftsman, the flute player, the one. He speaking to us about the one body, the one planet. I want us to hear this through his eyes. So here's what the craftsman's saying to us. I love you so much with this alive and lonely body. My body is a young hawk sitting on a tree by the Mississippi in early spring before any green has appeared on the earth beneath. Some days, walnut hollows in my chest fill with crackling light and shadows. There, birds drink from water drops. My body loves you with what it extracts from the prudent man, hunched over his colony of lizards. And with that, he loves you madly, beyond all rules and conventions. Even the 6 holes in the flute move about under the dark man's fingers, and the piercing cry goes out over the overgrown pastures. No one sees or visits at dusk except the deer, out of all enclosures, who has never seen any bed but his own of wild grass. I first met you when I had been alone for 9 days. And now my lonely hawk body longs to be with you, whom it remembers. It knew how close we are. We would always be. There is death, but also this closeness, this joy when the bee rises into the air above his hive to find the sun, to become the sun, S-O-N. And the traveler moves through exile and loss, through murkiness and failure, to touch the earth again of his own kingdom and kiss the ground. What shall I say of this? I say praise the first man who wrote down this joy clearly. For we cannot remain in love with what we cannot name. Robert Bly is naming here. And finally, I just want to bring in a quotation by John, the beloved John, chapter 8, one we know well. And it says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." I would like to open up some possibilities coming from the Bly poem, the unconventionality of how he loves us, speaking from the creator's viewpoint, and suggesting that humans, because we judge, as I was saying in that email that I read, because we judge so much, we create prisons. Doris Lessing wrote a book called The Prisons We Choose to Live In. Alan Hammond, whom some of us know, used to say, "Don't handcuff yourselves." I'm not talking here about license. I'm talking about what the truth sets free. And the fact that our judgments are holding us back from feeling the unconventional, out of the enclosures way that the craftsman is waiting for us to enjoy his planet and his people enjoying one another. I think we really keep ourselves in prisons when we allow judgment to enter and think, why isn't that person doing it the way I think? Or why aren't those people doing what I think is the priority? All that kind of stuff. I think we would be amazed at how the creator views the possibility of enjoyment of his planet and people. As I said, not with license, but under the truth of correct patterning. So these are things that I wanted to share together with you. And I appreciate the whole experience that we've had this morning. So I would like to open it up for comments from any of you, anything that has been stirred, anything that you want to sound through your flute. And bearing in mind the pauses in between when sounds come forth from a particular person, to listen to see what is seeking to come through each of us. I think there's a great opportunity in that kind of openness and sensitivity. So I'd like to open up comments, and I'm looking forward. We've put out something. Let's see what comes back.
And I appreciate the door you opened. Greg, can you say something?
Yeah, sorry. I've been thinking along these lines as well. And the one thing that really came home was how much stuff we carry from the past. And the way the image came to me was like a sled of rocks filled with rocks that were dragging around. A lot of them 20, 30 years old, 10 years old, 5 minutes old, 5 seconds old. And they're all in the past. All of them. I mean, they're gone. And yet we continue to drag them around. And, or at least I do. And how just letting that go, just that thought for me was, they're all in the past. Can let it go. Can't hold on to them anyway. They're past. And how, in a way, it was a release into the present moment, into what was next, into what was next. And I know that this is not a new thought, but it was, the penny drop, so to speak, for me. And I've been working with that for a while now. Yeah. And then I thought, well, what's next? And as Anne was saying, it opens the heart, and that opens the door to something that's coming, something that's new. So thanks.
It's wonderful to feel your heart, Greg, in that. And I too, I really love what has come through this morning, the earthy sensuality of it, which I guess it started from even the flute, but Susannah, I loved hearing about your cows and their dancing and frolicking. And also what you offered, Anne, of your meditations from the stillness, and particularly the why do we think we know what others should be doing? And the greatest, what really stood out to me, actually, I want to say 2 things before I stop. One is, I feel something new has emerged through the configuration of the 3 of you, and I can see how it's amplified certain essences that were actually recessive, I think, and now are becoming more, the opposite of it is dominant, expressive, positive, and I'm delighted to see that. And the second thing is, isn't it obvious that the grand craftsman, or the Lord, our beloved, more than anything else, wants us to hear his voice and sound his note through our flutes freely. And as we do that, there will be a beautiful symphony. The body can form. So letting go of, as Greg said, those old rocks of ideas of how others should be, and fully giving our attention to what is ours to do. Thank you.
Well, Fort Collins must be buzzing with response to the word today. It's so beautiful to hear, my friends Greg and Marcia. I'm so, what came to me as my stillness receiving this beautiful service was the profound stillness that is engendered among us, and the space here present to let the word of truth, of love, resound. David, I want to tell you how much I appreciated your open invitation and how vast it felt at the beginning of our time together for the awakening Christ body on earth. I feel that profoundly everywhere I go. That's what I'm looking for. And when I'm still and in the present moment and resonant in this way that we are now, together. It's so easy to be and to invite others to join in the one I am.
One of the words that stood out to me this morning was what Susannah used. It was grandeur. And I wonder how often that's used in our daily experience. I think grandeur is not something that people tend to think about all the time. And so it was wonderful coming through all of you to feel the grandeur of your connection with the flute player and the notes of grandeur that are able to be seen when one is in alignment with that. There are so many cacophonous notes, so much noise present in the world. It feels sometimes like we're becoming inundated, we're becoming drowning in this noise. And yet the opportunity is always present, as you've all so beautifully pointed out, to become still and pay attention to all that has been given. The longing of the Lord for his home to be revealed in what's already present, the grandeur that is already present. And certainly that is something that is so beautifully revealed in our times together and the notes that each one brings in their unique way. And I just want to say, I am so thankful that each one has their own responsibilities, their own range of authority and vision and creativity, because I certainly couldn't cover any of those bases. And so it's a great relaxation to just come to stillness and enjoy the creation that's already present through all of us and through the world that the Lord has made. It's good to be with you in that today.
Thank you, Carol. This is Irvin. I'm really hearing the call to set creation free and to see the power I have to do that. And as has been emphasized, this approach, this absolutely essential approach of non-judgment, which allows creation to be free. And the power, I have that power, and only I can do it, actually. I'm realizing more in this moment, just the tremendous opportunity I have here. And Anne was mentioning this isn't license, but it is about listening to the tone, honing my ability to hear that. And judgment horribly dulls that ability to hear the tone so clearly. So I'm filled with appreciation and filled with my commission to set creation free and to see it, to see the glorious opportunity I have by relinquishing habits and listening. So thanks all of us for this company this morning.
I've appreciated as well the sweet essences that we have shared. I think you said something, Susannah, about we have the opportunity of opening to the sweet essences of heaven and extending the welcome to our worlds, the welcome of home to our worlds. And I delighted to know how each one of us differentiates the beauty of who we are into our worlds. You know, when you think of the glory of this planet that we inhabit and the differentiation that is present, and how each one of us has a very specific essence. I can't think of any other word to describe it, to bring into our worlds, you know, and what a joy it is to know those essences that we embody, that we have the ability to share those with our worlds and bring joy and bring delight and bring beauty into our worlds, you know. And I was thinking of the word I. I is always written in capitals. It's a capital letter. We have the ability to embody who we are in capitals, you know, to express the beauty. So different. And I is also a one, not a solitary thing, but one with every other I. We are one body of humanity, and we can extend the joy of who we are into that one body, bringing the great and marvelous diversity of our Lord and King into being. And that is how the mystery of God is finished on earth, because we bring it, we share it, we love to do this, and we have the great pleasure of doing it with others who love to do it. This is such cause for celebration. So I thank you all for what you have brought today and for the joy of sharing it all with you.
I'd like to echo that. Thank you. What stands out for me is the being true to what is mine to do. We understand that we are each unique. I don't think anybody would deny that. What is mine to do can only be done, not just by me, but because the space is there. The space is there that allows me to do what is mine to do. And to me, the presence of the collective translates to me as the spaciousness that each one allows the other to do what's theirs to do. It's actually because we're all vertical in our polarity that the agreement comes vibrationally, that creates the spaciousness that allows each one to do what's theirs to do. I find that the judgment dissolves of its own accord when we function like that. It doesn't exist in that space. It's very much that in what was shared today about beautifully described in different ways. I don't have to rehearse that. but it's the space that lets each one be true to what's theirs to do. I say that for myself, but I suspect it's true for each one or others here too. So thank you for the space to let me do what's mine to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Davina. I think those comments have represented many, and I really I appreciate that. So I'd like to, at this point, ask David. David, do you have anything that you would like to add at this point?
There's a lot in the world as we look out at it and walk within it. Listen, it isn't very beautiful. It's not pretty, even. It's ugly. We see much of what we could call a predatory nature walking in the world. In one sense, we could say we can see that which is of a satanic nature that is ready to destroy, devour, consume, make desolate, divide, separate, ultimately separate. Wherever there's a pattern of communion and union appearing, there is at hand, ready, waiting, that which would consume it, devour it, eat it up, eliminate it if possible, but certainly tear it apart and leave it. Not differentiated in a beautiful divine pattern, but left in a state of separation, all kinds of fragmented parts. And the Lord has worked all these millennia to bring together a representative body of love, oneness, truth, differentiated design, love, life, truth, living body composed of living flesh that is beautiful and is appearing. So I'm always aware that after a time of Holy Communion and sharing and beautiful things like this, there's things to be faced afterwards relative to what comes out of the world to seek to tear that down, destroy it, eliminate it, say how foolish you are. This is not what's happening, and it comes internally, comes in consciousness, comes through thoughts and feelings. It comes through other people who sense that there's an open door, come to the door and tend to just walk right in and take over. And so the opportunity and the invitation has been to fling the door wide open, but really that's a door in its primary sense that's upward, so that the one who owns the body temple has full access to the body temple and comes in and has dominion in the house of being. And that's so relative to the collective body as well. And when that happens, there's no reason, is there, to be afraid of opening the door upwards, flinging it wide open, as if we're going to be hurt or destroyed by the Lord God Almighty or his fellow angels. So open it up, fling it wide open in that upward sense. And relative to those who are conscious representatives of the Lord and his body on earth, open in that direction. And then there's another door to open, which relates to that door which is outward, which extends the word, extends the invitation, that indicates that there is a home to come to, that there is a shrine on earth, that this body temple is a shrine through which the word and the sound and the light vibration extends, that this collective body that is coming into flesh form is a living shrine through which the sound and the light and the welcome is extended. But if what's going through that door is radiant and abundant, then there's not much that can come back at that level of things and try to take control, because there's radiance going out, invitation going out, being extended. And if anybody comes in answer to that invitation, they actually come from above, because it's what comes from above that belongs in the shrine and in the temple. So they'll come walking out of the east or from above towards the invitation, and they'll enter the door from above. It's the only way to come in, is from above. So I wanted to, in recognition of the predatory nature of what's present in the man-made world and how it dominates attention, I want to read a short piece and my conclusion for this service. And the word has been mentioned many times by this morning, and the word is beauty. And I want to read this short piece by Yolanda, a meditation on beauty, because so much of beauty came through this morning, and it's the beauty of God's creation, of which we are a part as creators. It is to be magnified in what we do and bring into the world. So here it is. He who looks for beauty in all people and all things soon finds that which he can truly love. The blending force which draws one into a realization of oneness is love. And the presence of love in people and all creation, the presence of love in people and all creation is discerned through a perception of beauty. Beauty is not to be confused with a surface prettiness. Beauty is that deeper quality which partakes of the divine. The inner being of all things is beauty. So look for beauty, and you will find beauty. And when you find beauty, you will have found the key to love. And when you have found love, you will blend with that which you find. And when you have found love, you will blend with that which you find. Thus is oneness attained. Everywhere present, beauty. Everywhere present, beauty will attune you with love, and love will blend you with God. Beauty and truth are one. The essence of all things is beauty. The essence of all things is truth. So, through the pathway of beauty, you can ascend to the limitless heights. Set yourself to the pleasure of looking for beauty. Beauty is reality. Behold beauty, and the clouds of darkness and illusion will vanish away. Fill your mind with beauty that is everywhere present, and there will be no room for the ugly things of personal human life, creation, and expression. The Christ is beauty. The way of the Christ is beauty. The truth of the Christ is beauty. And the life of the Christ is beauty. You cannot love that in which you do not see beauty. Therefore, look for beauty, and you will find love. Look below the surface. In contemplation, and you will find beauty. Beauty often hides behind a veil of seeming ugliness, that it might remain pure and unsullied from the eyes of vulgarity and human passion. Surface seeming blinds unworthy eyes that they may not behold beauty. He who hurries sees not beauty. Only those who linger long before the form can see its beauty. Follow beauty, and you will find love. Enter into love, you will find God. And in God, you will find the all in all. Susannah?
Thank you, David. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, everyone. I have deeply enjoyed the spirit present with us today in this gathering. And I just want to speak a word of blessing, and may we always, together and individually, find and amplify the grandeur of life. And I know that the path of life in this flesh and blood can sometimes be an uphill climb. So may we remember one another in compassion. I wish you fortitude. I wish you joy. I wish you safety. I wish you love and blessing. And with that, I think Robert has some music for us to close our time.
May the long time sun shine upon you. Oh, love surround you, and the pure light within you. God